Excavations, the Found Literary Objects of ValerieLynnStephens. Enterprise. Everything drops like a leaden weight to the epicenter of all perplexity, as any potentially exonerative expurgation of sublimation is once more rendered naught. Even my own dreams are foreign to me. I awaken in some solemn stratosphere where reason becomes the loathsome lie, the figurehead of the raging's vast enterprise. For such sapience and existential impartiality have required of the human heart far more than they have to compensate with. The human essentia, which can neither survive nor fully thrive without the safeguarding of such damnable and damning dialectics. How will humankind but spirit alive? Or will the spirit, too, be subject to the gross rigors of artificial sustenance and respiration? Will we also, or have we already, sacrificed the sanctified and the sublime at the altars of secular science and its ever-multiplicating gods? Artificial intelligence, artificial life support, indeed. And this is just it, the sanctified hypocrisy which the mortal human heart is forced daily to commit. And what a tall order, indeed, to be all and anything other than what one inalterably and inescapably is. This, the most profound and omnipresent multilemma, the human entity must decipher, must reduce to just one or the other. Right or wrong, black or white, at the pricey cost of the righteous actualization of all other possibilities, teeming throughout the infinite void, for a fully enriched and truly potentiated existence. Thus we reason, if only we could find a feasible way to reconcile and synthesize the primitive hunger with the more neoteric thirst, would we no longer continue to mistake one for the other, and so finally breach that true sublimity which will lead us to our noblest and most authentic raison d'etre, and further away from that whispering apprehension we all cohabit with daily, as it tickles at the soft pink underbelly of the animalian heart, rousing those icy hot huffs of ragged respiration, enlivening that dually instinctual, pulsating organic engine of merely human animation and circumambulation, relaying to that creeping old lizard the amygdala and superluminous circuitry, that old familiar feeling, that dark hovering cloud which we so often commonly allude to, always brewing up its toxic rain and persistent humdrumming thunder. But first, yes, first, that fine flash of electric light so indescribably pure and white, illuminating all neuronal pathways, if but even for a femtosecond, yet more than enough for the ever identically nuanced soul to be branded with the imprinting of yet another enticingly facile, painfully descriptic codex. Those things easiest to access, seemingly the hardest to cease and desist. Thus, at some point along the way, we were forced to ask, what price progress? Or will we just continue to digress in infinite regress? Have to continually confess in excess for those issues we painstakingly fail to efficiently address, or for how we too often than not exist and depend on much less than a mere guess, born of what faux noblesse which we daily acquiesce before the shrine of egoistic obsess and a false sense of success. We caress with far too much careless aggress in a dawning new age where we are more and more taught how to overdress beneath the tedium of specious politesse. And what of the blatant disregard for all other forms of communal largesse? How much longer will we escape the dire consequences of our sins? We must let the ailing present pass before we are to ever become ready to be born again to renewed health and vigor. For this mortal incarnation is not a test of the reasoning intellect, but of the earthbound spirit.